there is a gentle power that flows through all of life. It carries us, guides us, and holds us even when we cannot see it. This power is the universe, a loving energy that always has our highest good in mind. When we learn to trust it, to release our fears, and to let go of the burdens we've been carrying, we find peace. Peace is not something we chase. It is something we allow. There is a loving force that holds the entire universe together. It is the same force that makes the sun rise every morning, that turns the seasons, that causes the flowers to bloom and the tides to flow. This force is also within you. It supports you with every breath you take, with every step you make, with every thought you think. Even when you doubt it, even when you feel lost or uncertain, the universe is still working quietly, faithfully behind the scenes, arranging everything for your highest good. When you trust this invisible power, life becomes lighter. You begin to see that nothing happens by accident. Every experience, even the painful ones, carries within it a gift. Perhaps it is a lesson, perhaps it is an opportunity, or perhaps it is simply a chance to let go and grow stronger. But no matter what form it takes, it is always moving you toward greater love, greater peace, and greater fulfillment. The universe does not abandon you. It does not punish you. It does not hold from you. Its only function is to guide, to provide, and to bring you closer to the truth of who you are. Think of a time when something you thought was a loss later revealed itself to be a blessing. Perhaps a door closed, and in that moment you felt disappointment or sadness. But later, another door opened, one that led to a better path, a better relationship, a better situation than you could have imagined. This is the universe at work. It knows more than you do. It sees the bigger picture. It hears the desires of your heart, even the ones you haven't spoken aloud. And it orchestrates the events of your life so that those desires can unfold in the right way, at the right time. When you resist life, you create struggle. When you trust life, you create peace. Trust does not mean you sit back and do nothing. It means you move forward with confidence, knowing that you are always being guided. It means you listen to the quiet whispers within, that gentle intuition that nudges you toward what is right for you. It means you no longer waste your energy fearing what could go wrong, because you understand that even when things do not go according to your plan, they are still going according to a higher plan. Imagine a child learning to walk. The child stumbles, falls, and tries again. The parent does not condemn the child for falling. The parent encourages, supports, and celebrates each small step. The universe is the same. When you stumble, it does not criticize you. When you fall, it does not abandon you. It surrounds you with love, lifts you up, and gently guides you forward. Every mistake becomes a stepping stone. Every setback becomes a setup for something greater. When you truly know that the universe supports you, fear begins to dissolve. You realize that you don't have to control every detail. You don't have to know exactly how everything will work out. Your only responsibility is to trust, to take one step at a time, and to keep your heart open. The rest will unfold in ways you could not possibly plan. Life has a way of surprising you with miracles when you least expect them. Say to yourself, I am safe. I am guided. I am supported. Let these words sink into your mind and heart. Every time fear tries to take over, repeat this truth. Every time doubt whispers that you are alone, remind yourself of the countless times life has carried you through. You have survived every single challenge you have ever faced. You have made it through your darkest nights. And here you are, still standing, still breathing, still capable of joy. That is proof of the support that is always with you. If you look at nature, you will see this truth reflected everywhere. The birds do not worry about where their next meal will come from. The trees do not doubt that they will receive sunlight and rain. The rivers do not question whether they will reach the sea. All of nature trusts the flow of life. And so can you. You are not separate from this natural rhythm. You are part of it. You are carried by the same intelligence that moves the stars in the sky. So today, let go of the need to control everything. Let go of the fear that you are alone. Let go of the thought that you must struggle for every good thing in your life. Instead, breathe deeply and say, life supports me in every possible way. With each breath, feel the weight lifting from your shoulders. Feel the peace that comes from knowing you are held, protected, and loved. The more you trust, the more easily life flows. The more you allow, the more blessings can come to you. You are not here by accident. You are here on purpose. The universe chose this exact moment for you to be alive, and it supports you fully in every step of your journey. Trust that truth, and you will discover a peace beyond anything you have ever known. Letting go is one of the most courageous things you can do. It takes real strength to release what no longer serves you. Many people believe that holding on is a sign of loyalty, of determination, of love. But in truth, it is often in the letting go that your greatest power is revealed. When you release the grip on the past, when you loosen your hold on the things you cannot change, you give yourself permission to step into freedom. You open the door to peace. There is a misconception that letting go is weakness, that it means giving up, that it shows you could not endure. But think about it, it takes no strength to cling in fear. Anyone can hold on tightly to pain, to resentment, to a situation that is long over. What takes courage is opening your hand, loosening your grip, and trusting that life will catch you. True strength is soft. It does not demand, it does not force, it does not cling. True strength flows with grace, and grace is found in letting go. When you carry the weight of old hurts, of broken dreams, of relationships that ended, you burden yourself. You drag the past into the present, and it clouds your ability to see clearly. Letting go is the act of placing that weight down. It is saying, I no longer need to suffer from what is behind me. I choose freedom now. Imagine yourself holding a heavy bag of stones. Every stone is a painful memory, a regret, a wound. Carrying this bag makes you tired. You stumble beneath its heaviness. But when you place it down, when you allow yourself to release it, suddenly you are lighter. You can move with ease. Your hands are free to receive something new. This is what letting go gives you. Space for something better. Life cannot fill your hands with blessings if you are holding on to what has already crumbled. You may think that clinging will bring back what you lost, but it will not. The past cannot be changed. What has ended has served its purpose. What has hurt you has already taught its lesson. When you continue to hold on, you are simply replaying pain. When you let go, you give yourself the gift of peace. Letting go is not a single act. It is a practice, a choice you may need to make again and again. Some days you may feel free, and on others, the old feelings return. That is okay. Be gentle with yourself. Each time you release the thought, the memory, or the story, you strengthen your inner courage. Each time you breathe and say, I choose peace instead of pain, you retrain your heart to live in freedom. Think about the trees. Every autumn, the leaves fall. The tree does not cling to them, begging them to stay. It does not fear the emptiness of winter. It lets go with ease, trusting that new leaves will grow when the season is right. In the same way, you must trust that when something leaves your life, it is making space for something new to be born. Whether it is a relationship, a job, a dream, or even an old belief about yourself, if it has ended, it is because its time is complete. Your strength lies in honoring the ending and welcoming the beginning that is waiting. When you let go, you reclaim your power. You stop giving your energy to the past and bring it back to the present, where life is truly happening. You realize that you cannot control others, that you cannot rewrite yesterday, but you can choose how you show up right now. And right now, you can choose peace. You can choose self-love. You can choose to trust that everything you release will be replaced by something greater. Say to yourself, I am strong enough to let go. I am free to move forward. Feel those words settle into your body. Imagine your heart opening, your shoulders relaxing, your breath deepening. This is what freedom feels like. It is not weakness to let go. It is strength. It is not defeat. It is victory. Because when you let go, you declare that your happiness is more important than your pain. You declare that your peace is more valuable than your pride. You declare that your future matters more than your past. And so, if there is something heavy you have been carrying, a memory, a grudge, a fear, a regret, I invite you to release it now. Imagine placing it in the hands of the universe, trusting that it will be transformed into something beautiful. You do not have to carry it anymore. You are not meant to. You are meant to be free, light, and open to love. Letting go is an act of strength. It is the bravest decision you can make. It is the moment you say yes to yourself, yes to peace, yes to the flow of life. And when you choose it, life responds with grace, joy, and endless possibilities. Peace is not something we need to chase. It is not found in distant places or given to us by someone else. True peace begins in the mind. It is born from the way we choose to think, the way we speak to ourselves, the way we interpret the world around us. When the mind is filled with turmoil, life feels heavy and unsettled. But when the mind is calm, compassionate, and loving, peace naturally flows into every area of our lives. Your thoughts are powerful. Every thought you think creates energy that ripples into your emotions, your body, and your experiences. If your thoughts are filled with fear, judgment, or worry, that is the energy you will live in. But when your thoughts are filled with kindness, trust, and love, you will feel safe, calm, and supported. Peace does not require perfect circumstances. It requires a shift in perspective. Think of a storm. The winds may howl, the rain may pour, the thunder may crash. But at the center of the storm is the calm eye, untouched by the chaos. That calm eye is like your mind when you choose peace. Life may bring challenges. People may behave in ways you do not expect. Circumstances may not always go according to your plan. But if you cultivate calm within your mind, you can stand in the middle of life's storm without being swept away. Peace begins with the thoughts you choose every day. You may not be able to control what happens around you, but you always have the power to choose how you respond within. Each time you pause and breathe instead of reacting with anger, you create peace. Each time you forgive instead of holding resentment, you create peace. Each time you speak gently to yourself instead of harshly, you create peace. These small moments build and expand until peace becomes your natural state of being. So many people wait for life to become peaceful before they allow themselves to feel peace. They wait for the job to be secure, for the relationship to be perfect, for the money to arrive, for the problems to disappear. But peace does not arrive from the outside. Peace is something you decide to feel right here, right now, regardless of what is happening. When you choose it, life rearranges itself around you. The outside begins to reflect the calm inside. The way you speak to yourself is one of the greatest keys to inner peace. Notice the words you use in your thoughts. Do they comfort you or criticize you? Do they uplift you or drag you down? The mind can be either a garden or a battlefield. If you plant seeds of love, gratitude, and trust, you will harvest peace. If you plant seeds of fear, guilt, and doubt, you will harvest turmoil. You always have the choice. Affirmations are one of the simplest, most powerful tools to bring peace into the mind. Simple words like, I am calm, I am safe, I am at peace with life can quiet the chatter of fear and replace it with the stillness of love. Forgiveness is also a pathway to peace. Holding onto anger or resentment keeps the mind unsettled. When you replay the story of hurt again, you relive the pain each time. But forgiveness releases you. It is not about excusing the behavior of others. It is about choosing your own freedom. It is about deciding that your peace matters more than your bitterness. When you forgive, your mind becomes lighter. Your heart softens. Peace enters the space that anger once occupied. Another way peace begins in the mind is through presence. So often, we lose peace because our thoughts wander to the past or worry about the future. But the present moment is always peaceful if you allow it to be. Right now, in this very breath, you are safe. Right now, in this very heartbeat, life is flowing through you. Right now, in this very moment, nothing is missing. Peace begins when you bring your attention back to the here and now, letting go of the stories that pull you away. Peace also comes from trust. Trust that life is guiding you. Trust that you are not alone. Trust that even in uncertainty, there is a larger plan unfolding. When the mind is filled with doubt, it becomes restless. But when the mind rests in trust, it becomes calm. You do not need to have all the answers. You only need to know that you are supported. Trust clears away fear, and peace naturally follows. Say to yourself often, peace begins with me. Peace lives in my mind. Repeat it until it becomes truth. When challenges arise, return to it. When fear tries to take over, repeat it again. The more you remind yourself, the more your mind will settle into peace as its natural state. Peace is not a faraway dream. It is not dependent on perfection. It is a choice you make each day, each hour, each moment, and that choice begins in your mind. When your mind is peaceful, your world becomes peaceful. When you live with peace inside, you share that peace with others, and the world around you transforms. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful acts you can offer yourself. Many believe forgiveness is something we give to others, a gift for the person who wronged us. But true forgiveness is a gift we give to our own hearts. It is the release of heavy chains, the letting go of a burden that was never meant to be carried forever. When you forgive, you are not saying that what happened was acceptable or that it didn't hurt. You are simply choosing not to let the pain rule your life anymore. You are choosing to set yourself free. When you hold on to resentment, it closes your heart. It keeps you tied to the past and traps you in the story of what went wrong. Each time you replay the memory, each time you relive the pain, you bind yourself more tightly to it. Anger and bitterness may feel like protection, but in truth, they are prisons. They keep love from flowing, they block joy, and they dim the light within you. Forgiveness is the key that opens the door. It unlocks the chains, allowing your heart to expand again. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It does not mean you allow others to mistreat you or that you deny what happened. It simply means you no longer allow the wound to define you. It means you choose peace over pain. It means you choose to stop drinking the poison of resentment, hoping it will harm someone else, when in reality it only harms you. Forgiveness is the cleansing of the soul, a washing away of the bitterness that keeps you small. Think of your heart as a garden. When anger and resentment are left untended, they grow like weeds. They choke the flowers of love, peace, and joy. Forgiveness is the act of pulling those weeds out, making space for beauty to bloom again. It takes effort, and sometimes it feels uncomfortable, but the reward is worth it. A garden free of weeds can flourish. In the same way, a heart free of resentment can open to love. There may be times when forgiving feels impossible. The hurt may seem too deep, the wound too raw, but forgiveness does not have to happen all at once. It is a process, a journey. You can begin with the smallest step, even by saying quietly to yourself, I am willing to forgive. That willingness plants a seed. Over time, with patience and compassion, that seed grows. One day you will find that the grip of anger has loosened and peace has quietly taken its place. Remember also that forgiveness is not only for others, it is for yourself as well. How often do you hold on to guilt, shame, or regret for things you have done in the past? You replay your mistakes, punish yourself again and again, and deny yourself the kindness you deserve. But you too are worthy of forgiveness. You did the best you could with the knowledge, awareness, and strength you had at the time. Now you know more, and you can do better. Holding on to self-condemnation does not help you grow. It only keeps you stuck. Forgiving yourself allows you to learn, to heal, and to open your heart again. When you forgive, you invite love to flow. Love cannot exist fully in a heart that is hardened by resentment. Love requires openness, softness, willingness. Forgiveness clears the pathway for that love. It allows you to give love freely and to receive love without fear. And when your heart is open to love, your entire life transforms. Relationships improve, opportunities arise, peace surrounds you. Forgiveness is the doorway through which love enters. Say to yourself, I choose to forgive. I release the past. I open my heart to peace. Repeat these words gently. Let them sink into your being. Each time you affirm forgiveness, you chip away at the walls built by anger and fear. Each time you choose to release, your heart expands. Each time you allow peace, love takes root. It may not always be easy, but it is always worth it. Forgiveness gives you freedom. It gives you the power to live without chains, to wake each morning without bitterness, to move forward without fear. It opens your heart to joy, to connection, to the fullness of life. Forgiveness is not about weakness. It is about strength. It is not about surrendering to another's power. It is about reclaiming your own. So if you are carrying pain from the past, if your heart feels heavy with anger or guilt, know this, you do not have to carry it anymore. You can choose today to let it go. You can choose today to forgive. And in doing so, you will feel your heart open, light returning, love flowing once again. Forgiveness is the bridge from pain to peace, from fear to freedom, from anger to love. When you cross that bridge, you discover the truth, that your heart was always meant to be open, free, and filled with love. Every word you speak and every thought you think is shaping your life in ways you may not even realize. The mind is like fertile soil, and the thoughts you plant there grow into the experiences you live. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation, those will be the fruits you harvest. But if you plant seeds of love, trust, and possibility, your life will blossom with peace, joy, and abundance. Affirmations are the simple, powerful practice of choosing the thoughts you plant. They are statements of truth that guide your mind, soothe your heart, and create new realities. When you repeat an affirmation, you are not lying to yourself or pretending that something is true when it isn't. You are choosing to align your mind with the direction you wish your life to take. You are training your thoughts to move away from fear and toward love. The more you repeat these affirmations, the more they take root in your subconscious, and the more your outer world begins to reflect them. Many of us spend our days affirming things we do not want. We affirm our limitations by saying, I can't do this, or nothing ever works out for me. We affirm our fears by saying, I'll never be happy, or I'm not good enough. These negative statements may feel casual or unimportant, but each time they are spoken or thought, they reinforce old patterns. They become a kind of self-fulfilling prophecy. Affirmations invite us to turn this pattern around. Instead of affirming lack, we affirm abundance. Instead of affirming fear, we affirm safety. Instead of affirming weakness, we affirm strength. Affirmations are like gentle reminders to your mind and spirit of what is possible. When you say, "I am worthy of love," you begin to dissolve the old belief that told you otherwise. When you affirm, "I trust the process of life," you ease the anxious voice that insists everything must be controlled. When you declare, "I am open to miracles," you expand your awareness to notice the blessings all around you. Affirmations redirect your focus, and where your focus goes, your energy flows. Consistency is the key. Just as a seed does not grow into a tree overnight, affirmations take time to blossom into reality. You must nurture them daily with patience and faith. The more you repeat them, the more natural they become, until eventually they feel like your truth. And once your inner truth changes, your outer life must reflect it. Life mirrors back to you what you believe, and affirmations are the practice of choosing beliefs that serve your highest good. Affirmations are especially powerful when spoken with emotion. When you simply recite words without feeling, they may take longer to sink in. But when you say them with conviction, when you allow your body to feel the truth of the words, their power multiplies. Imagine standing before a mirror, looking into your own eyes and saying, "I love and approve of myself exactly as I am." At first, it may feel uncomfortable. Old beliefs may rise up and resist. But if you keep going, if you soften into the words, your heart will begin to believe them. Over time, they will replace the harsh, critical thoughts with gentle, supportive ones. Affirmations are also powerful tools for healing. The body responds to the mind's messages. When you affirm health, strength, and vitality, your body hears those instructions. When you affirm peace and calm, your nervous system relaxes. The mind and body are always communicating, and affirmations create harmony between them. You can create affirmations for any area of your life. If you are seeking love, you might say, "I am open to loving and supportive relationships." If you are seeking abundance, you might say, "Prosperity flows to me easily and effortlessly." If you are seeking peace, you might affirm, "I am calm, centered, and at peace with life." Choose the words that feel comforting, empowering, and expansive. Make them personal, present, and positive. The more you repeat them, the more your life begins to align with them. Think of affirmations as gentle guiding stars. Each time you repeat them, you are steering your mind in the direction you wish to go. And just like a ship that corrects its course little by little, your life will begin to move toward the reality you are affirming. Small shifts in thought create powerful changes over time. Say to yourself often, "I am safe. I am guided. I am worth loved." Let these words replace the old stories that once held you back. Let them become the soundtrack of your days. When you fill your mind with affirmations of love and truth, you will find that fear begins to fade. Doubt loses its power. Peace becomes your foundation. And from that place, miracles happen naturally. Affirmations are more than words. They are choices. They are declarations of who you are becoming. They are acts of love you give to yourself every single day. And when you practice them with faith and consistency, they open the door to a new reality, a reality filled with peace, freedom, and joy. Surrender is often misunderstood. Many believe it means giving up, being weak, or losing control. But true surrender is none of those things. Surrender is not about defeat. It is about trust. It is not about losing power. It is about finding a greater power within yourself and around you. When you surrender, you release the constant struggle, the endless need to control every detail, and you allow life to flow as it was always meant to. And in that flow, you discover freedom, Think of how often we exhaust ourselves trying to control outcomes. We worry about how things will turn out. We plan every detail. We resist change. We cling tightly to expectations. All of this creates tension inside us, a restlessness that steals our peace. Yet the truth is, life has a rhythm and it cannot be forced. Just as we cannot make the sun rise faster or command the seasons to change, we cannot force life to bend to our will. But when we surrender to its flow, we find that everything unfolds in perfect timing, in perfect order, and in ways far greater than we could have imagined. Surrender is an act of courage. It takes strength to admit that we don't have all the answers, that we cannot control everything, and that we don't need to. It takes faith to loosen the grip and trust that something larger is guiding us. When we surrender, we move from fear to faith, from struggle to peace. We stop trying to swim against the current and instead allow the current to carry us to where we are meant to be. There is freedom in releasing the burden of control. Imagine carrying a heavy load on your shoulders. The weight of expectations, the weight of fear, the weight of old stories and rigid plans. You strain beneath it, exhausted from the effort. But when you set it down, when you say, I no longer need to carry this, you feel light, open, and free. That is what surrender feels like. It is the unburdening of the soul. Surrender does not mean inaction. It does not mean you stop living, dreaming, or making choices. It simply means that you do your part and then release the outcome. You plant the seeds, you nurture them with care, and then you trust the soil, the sun, and the rain to do their work. You do not dig up the seeds every day to see if they are growing. You surrender to the process, knowing that growth is happening. Even if you cannot yet see it, life is the same. You take inspired action, and then you let go of the need to control how or when the results appear. When you surrender, you make room for miracles. Often, the greatest blessings come not from the plans we hold onto tightly, but from the unexpected gifts life brings when we release our grip. A door closes and we resist, mourning its loss. But when we surrender, another door opens, one that leads to greater opportunities, greater love, greater peace. The universe knows the bigger picture, and when we stop resisting, we allow it to bring us what we truly need. Surrender also means accepting what is. So much of our suffering comes from fighting reality, from insisting that things should be different than they are. But peace is found in acceptance. It is found in the quiet knowing that life is unfolding as it must, even when we do not understand. Acceptance is not resignation. It is simply saying, this is where I am right now, and I choose peace in this moment. From that place of peace, change becomes easier, healing begins, and freedom flows. When you let go, you create space. Space for love to enter. Space for new opportunities to appear. Space for your heart to rest. Holding on tightly to control, fear, or resistance leaves no room for joy. But surrender clears that space, inviting grace to fill it. And grace is what carries you gently forward. Say to yourself, I surrender to the flow of life. I trust the process. I am free. Let these words wash over you like a soft wave. Feel the relief in letting go, the calm in trusting, the freedom in no longer needing to control everything. Each time you affirm surrender, you ease the tension in your body, the worry in your mind, and the heaviness in your heart. You begin to align with the natural rhythm of life, a rhythm that always leads you to where you are meant to be. Surrender brings freedom because it allows you to live fully in the present. No longer trapped in the past or anxious about the future, you can finally breathe. Finally rest, finally be. You discover that you are safe, that you are guided, and that you are always supported. And from this place of trust, you are free to create, to love, to live with joy. Surrender is not weakness. It is the greatest strength. It is the moment you choose peace over struggle, faith over fear, freedom over control. And when you surrender, you step into the flow of life, where everything you need is already waiting for you.